Hey everyone, welcome to Better with Tech. My name is Isaac Mercado, and I'm going to show you the basics of working with spreadsheets using Google Sheets. I assume you already know how to create a spreadsheet using Google Sheets. If you don't, I put a link in the description to a video that I made that shows how to create one. Create a blank spreadsheet, and let's get started. If you're not familiar with spreadsheets, it's a document where we can arrange data in the form of a grid. And just like any grid, we have rows, which are identified by numbers, and we have columns, which are identified by letters. If we want to add data into an area of the grid, all we have to do is select it with the mouse and start typing. Notice a blue outline indicates the area that we have selected. In spreadsheets, an area of the grid is also known as a cell. If you want to select a cell just above, below, or on either side of the one that we have selected, we can use the arrow keys on the keyboard instead of the mouse. I'm going to select the cell that I typed in and delete what I just put in it by hitting the delete key. Let's start filling in the spreadsheet with some data. And I'm going to do that by making a list of some of my favorite games and how much they're selling for. I'm going to call the spreadsheet Game List and hit enter key. One way to lay out your data in a spreadsheet is to give each type of data its own column with the name of that type in row 1. Start by selecting column A, row 1, and we're going to call that column Game. And that will be for all the games that we put in. Hit the tab key, and that will select the cell just next to the column we were in. So in this case, column B. And column B is going to be for the price of each game. And hit enter. Notice how it selected the cell in the row just below column A. When you use the tab key to enter data across the spreadsheet, and then you hit the enter key, it will select the cell where you first started using the tab key, but in the row below it. Using a combination of the tab key and the enter key will enable you to fill in data faster without having to use your mouse. In row 2 and the rows below it, I'll add a few games and the prices that I found for them on eBay. The first game will be Pac-Man. And I'll hit the tab key, and Pac-Man is selling for $34.99. So $34.99, hit enter, and the next game I believe is Breakout, tab key, and that's selling for $299.95. So $299.95. Next game is Tapper. And if you haven't played Tapper, it's a really fun game. Really simple to play. And that's selling for $3,000. So type in 3,000, hit enter. Next game is Tetris. And that's selling for $8.47. Sounds too good to be true. Next game is Frogger. And let's see what that's selling for. Frogger, $1,450. And there we go. We can create a huge list and go down almost forever. But we'll stop there. I'm going to show you next how to do some basic formatting to make the data look nicer and more readable. First, I want to change what the price looks like. We're going to do that by selecting all of column B by clicking the column letter, and then we're going to go up to the toolbar and click this $sign to format it as currency. And that will format the entire column as currency, but it's smart enough to know that the name price doesn't need to be changed. And you'll see here that it added a dollar sign, added a few decimal places, and also added a comma in values that were at 1,000 or above. We can format this a little bit more and say we didn't want the decimal places. We can go back up to the toolbar and decrease the number of decimal places that we have so that it's just whole dollars. And if we're dealing with something more precise, we can actually increase the decimal places to get more accurate values. But for now, let's just leave it at 2 decimal places. The next thing we're going to do is I'm going to deselect that column there. Next thing we're going to do is the names of each column. I want them to stand out more. So we'll select the entirety of row 1 by clicking the row number, and then we're going to make it bold, and we're going to make the font size 12, and let's change the color, and I'm going to pick a green, and then let's center the text. So we're going to go to the horizontal alignment tool and click center, and as you can see, it centers the text within its cell. I'll deselect everything, and that looks a lot better. It's a lot easier to see, differentiate what the name of a column is versus the games, and then the text is more uniform and more readable. I'm sorry, the price is more uniform and more readable. Okay, so the next thing I want to do is I want to show you how to sort the information that we have. You won't have to do this manually. If you wanted to, say, input a bunch of data and at the last minute you're like, oh no, I actually wanted to put this in alphabetical order. Nice thing about Google Sheets is it allows you to put in the information however you want, and it will actually sort it for you. So we'll do that by going up to the top of a column. In this case, we want to sort all our games by their name. So we'll go to the top of column A, and once you move your mouse to the column letter, you'll see this little button here appears to the right of the letter with a down arrow. Click that, and there'll be an option called Sort Sheet A to Z. We'll click that, and you'll see here that it's sorted all our games, but it also sorted the name of the column as well, and we didn't want that. We want the name of the column to stay at the top of the column. So that's an easy fix. We'll go up to the toolbar and click the undo button. And then I'm going to just deselect the column so it's easier to see. One thing that Google Sheets makes really easy is it allows you to easily freeze the rows that you don't want to move when you do things like sorting. And the way you do that is you go over to the left of the spreadsheet, and just above row 1 there's a bar, and when you drag the bar down, anything above the bar will not move when you sort it. So if we dragged it all the way below row 6 where Frogger is, and then when we go to sort, none of these cells above it, row 1 through 6, will move. In this case, we just want row 1 to stay in place, so we'll drag the bar down to row 1. And let's try it. We'll go up to column A, click the down arrow button, and click Sort Sheet A to Z. And there you go. All the games are in alphabetical order. Another thing that freezing the row does is, say you have a lot of information, like you can only see row 24 here, but if we scroll down, we got tons of rows to work with. And when you freeze a row, even when you scroll, those rows will stay in place. And this is great for when you have large documents with, say, 400 rows, and you start scrolling down and you lose track of what column is for what piece of information, especially when you have information going all the way across the screen. This allows you to easily identify what's what. So let's scroll back up. And the next thing I want to do is, I'm probably going to wind up buying what I can afford first. So let's sort the price by going up to column B and clicking the down arrow and sort sheet A to Z. This should sort the price lowest to highest, and it does. So it looks like I'll buy Tetris first and then Breakout, and then hopefully I can afford Frogger after that. So that's the basics of working with spreadsheets using Google Sheets. If you have any comments or questions or suggestions, let me know in the comment section below, or email me at betterwithtech@gmail.com. Please like this video if you think it was helpful, and subscribe if you want to see more. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.